You ever wonder what could happen if you could see the future and what would come of it? You know, being able to tell someone what's going to happen next, what the future holds, all while having visions and all the other mystical stuff. No? Just me? Okay, well, fine then. Anyways, because the most recommended types in the comments of the last one of these were ice and grass, I took initiative and did one of my own. Why not do ice though? Well, I did ice already a while back. And why not do grass? Because it was a comment left on a video about the grass types. Admittedly, I will admit that I did laugh at that a little bit. Probably my favorite comment on that video. So we're gonna do psychic types instead. And you can let me know what type you want to see next in the comments. You know how this goes. It'll be available in Scarlet and Violet, and no super legendaries. This means no megas, G-maxes, and all that stuff. As much as I'd love to rave on about Mega Mewtwo all day. But before we begin, Luna's World. If you guys enjoy lo-fi hip-hop music, Luna's World might be the place for you. I will leave that in the description below. But with that said, let's begin. Honorable mention to Indeedee for reasons I need not explain. Metagross will always be a personal favorite of mine. It's a badass automation that has the intellect of 4 supercomputers, all while being able to tear things to shreds with its steel claws. Heavy Slam was a rather insane buff for it, because now we never have to use Meteor Miss, and then stuff like Psychic Fangs, Earthquake, Ice Punch, and Bullet Punch all make for great options. Agility is also pretty alright, that's for sure. It's got excellent attack, solid bulk, and while not the best speed stat, all it needs is 1 agility to patch that. Choice banded or weakness policy sets tend to be the go-to, and sometimes you can be seen running like a Suicide Lead with Stealth Rocks and Explosion, or Leftovers with Stealth Rock, Knockoff, and Stab. It's good. Recommended Terra? I like Water and Flying to play around certain key weaknesses. Dark being especially good if the goal is to use Knockoff. Terra Steel is also an option if you decide that defense is for the weak and you just want to hit really hard. I could just be downplaying Galarian Slowking by having it this low, but in its defense, it has some rather terrifying competition. But just because the competition is scary doesn't mean that Slowking doesn't do its job excellently. Chilly Reception is an excellent pivoting move that clears weather, all while getting you into any Pokemon you want, including what could be a Hail Sweeper if you're feeling dangerous. Combine that with access to some incredibly powerful tools like Thunder Wave, Slack Off, Future Sight, Scald, and then coverage moves like Ice Beam and Flamethrower for Assault Vest sets if you feel real crazy. And then of course, it makes use of good special bulk and Trick Room for those interested. Slap Regenerator on top of that, and you've got quite a good special pivoting option. Recommended Terra? It's a defensive Pokemon, so I would probably just slap Fairy on it. Now, you would expect Latias to be here, but no, it's secretly Latios. Yeah, this is surprising information to those ill-informed, and I will get to why Latias is higher than it in the upcoming segment. In the meantime, Latios is an excellent offensive Pokemon in its own right. Its spec set with Draco Meteor, Luster Purge, Thunderbolt, and Flip Turn made for a powerful offensive pivot. And then the Terra Electric set with Calm Mind, Thunderbolt, Draco Meteor, and Recover is also pretty strong. And then there's the Choice Scarf set, which works as an excellent revenge killer, if not just a stall breaker by tricking a Choice Scarf onto the opposing blob and then never having to worry about it for the rest of the game. Tell Toxapex to put on the bib because it's time to eat Luster Purges, and it's gonna feel good. It's fast, it's strong, Luster Purge got buffed to 95 power, and Draco Meteor is Draco Meteor. What more do you want? Recommended Terra, Steel, Fairy, Electric, and Dragon are all good. So, we all know how Latias is bulkier than Latios. That much we absolutely know. It also doesn't have random points in attack it will never use. unlike Latios. So it actually uses all of its stats, which is pretty huge. But the real meat and potatoes, and why it got banned from singles UU, unlike Latios, who is perfectly healthy, is not only in its set variety, but also in one particular set. So what did the set do? Well, Calm Mind, Agility, Stored Power, and I believe Aura Sphere, Draining Kiss, or just Recover. This set had incredible longevity with leftovers, or incredible power with weakness policy. Regardless, using its bulk to get all this free setup and abusing defensive terras like Steel, Fairy, or Poison to keep itself from taking too much damage throughout a game was absolutely mortifying. It ended games on the spot to the point where it was deemed really unhealthy and got axed. But hey, it is officially better than Latios, at least in competitive. I need not go into the specifics of why one of the fastest Paradox Pokemon is good. Pretty sure the only ones that are faster are exactly Iron Bundle and Fluttermane, who are pretty much bullcrap in their own right. All you really need to know is that booster speed, Swords Dance, and then 3 attacks is gonna be enough. You can play like Close Combat, Mighty Cleave, and then either Psychic Stab or Substitute depending on your mood. Then you can Terra Fighting to amp Close Combat, Terra Ground to live hits you normally wouldn't, or Terra Flying to dodge Earthquake and get that sub up for free. Either way, Speed Demon with Swords Dance is Speed Demon with Swords Dance. You know how that goes. Every time I see Hatterene, I sometimes stop thinking about it and think back to simpler days where I'm trying to stay alive until 6 AM. But then, the power goes out, and then I see that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What does matter is that Hatterene without Ursaluna and vice versa doesn't feel right. The plan is, and always will be, simple. Magic Bounce to make sure hazards never get up, Focus Sash to live any hit, and then Trick Room. After that, Misty Explosion or Healing Wish. It does not matter, so long as Ursaluna comes out. Now, is that all it does? Not really, but I guess you can play like Nuzzle for long-term speed control, and then you can do stuff with Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Shock, and Mystical Fire. Those are all neat and probably more common, and why the Pokemon is actually good. Recommended Terra? Water. Never let the Steel type know your next move. Every time I see Iron Crown, I don't think of how viable it is. I think about the fact that this is not the Paradox version of Cobalion. No. It's a weapon shaped like Cobalion. I kid you not. So this means that, yet again, humanity has managed to make a weapon on the level of legendaries. Makes you wonder just how brutal wars are in Pokemon, huh? We know Surge and AZ participated, and stuff was rough. And, oh yeah, viability. I mean, it's got Volt Switch for pivoting, and has great set variety with choice specs, leftovers, and booster energy. It's also got a mean Tachyon Cutter, a mean Future Sight, a mean Stored Power, and, oh yeah, Stored Power. All it takes is 1 Calm Mind and 1 Agility. Combine that with a booster energy and either special attack or speed, depending on your investments, and this Mon can end games quick. You're either running this or a Specs wall-breaking pivot, I believe. There have been bulky pivots with Future Sight though, so who knows? Recommended Terra? Fairy tends to work, and Fighting is also pretty alright. Now, let's get to the best Psychic type that is legal in Gen 9 Smogon OU. At least in my opinion. It's Galarian Slowking. It's kind of just Johto Slowking, but with a better type and access to Toxic. But hey, if it works, it works. The Assault Vest set is definitely a pain in the ass to deal with. The Boots Regenerator Chilly Reception pivot is great at taking hits and then leaving. It also has 1 less weakness than Johto King, and not being weak to Grass and Electric lets it function a lot better as a special wall since most Grass and Electric types are special attackers, making Johto King's life pretty hard. Most ground, dark, and ghost type attacks hit on the physical side, so the special heads Galarian Slowking is tasked to tank are usually not super effective. This is excellent and puts it just that much above Johto King. It's the specifics that really determine it all, and it's paid off immaculately because Galarian Slowking is excellent. Recommended Terra? I'd say Fighting, Fairy, or Water. And now, the Psychic type to nearly end all Psychic types. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Roadrunner from Looney Tunes. Yes, I know it's an ostrich, but I really don't care. The part I care about is the part where it sits there, setting up calm minds, hiding behind substitutes, acquiring speed boosts, and then murdering my team with stored power. And then if it's not that, then it's using Terra fighting Terra Blast after getting Calm Mind boosts up and killing my team that way. That's it. That's what it does. It's simple, effective, snowbally, and very annoying. Was there really anywhere else this could go? Come on, it was always going to be Deoxys. However, I didn't want multiple forms to cover the list, so I'm going to give an overview of the two forms that really do the job. Deoxys Speed is an excellent Stealth Rock setter, and with tools like Psycho Boost, Superpower, and Ice Beam, it can be quite the problem to deal with offensively. The second highest speed in the game guarantees it will usually always get up hazards, and that speed also makes it a solid offensive breaker with Life Orb boosted attacks. Deoxys Attack is a glass cannon made out of paper mache that fires off nuclear weapons. Base 180 attacks, 20 defenses, and 150 speed, all for the express purpose of waiting for the Pokemon with extreme speed to die, and then when it does, it comes in and spams moves of cataclysmic proportion, practically ending your opposing team. When they said this thing could destroy all of Hoenn with a meteor, I believe it with attacking stats like those. Slap 4 attacks on it and a Life Orb, and watch things burst. And that's pretty much it. What'd you guys think of this list? Did your psychic powers allow you to predict which Mon would be number 1? Let me know in the comments below, as well as what typing you'd like me to cover next. Remember, the typing with the most upvotes will be the one that I cover next time.